try to follow the vultures or not. So I think maybe that part of it may be learnt. So maybe seeing the vultures or being aware of them is something that is innate, which means it's one of those things that you know rather than being learned. And maybe the actual action of following where the vultures have gone to may be the behaviour that's learnt from cubs following their mothers. Stations, we still have the Ngala on Impala Road, 2 stations in the lock. Which station with the skunk on? I'm just trying to think, how far away were those in car? They weren't that far, were they?
No.
Maybe just on the other side of the tree line, maybe a bit further. It wasn't long after we saw the impala and the giraffe that I tried to follow those tracks in, so I think someone must have just turned around in there.
Johnny.
Okay, we've got a question coming through.
Johnny,
Quite an interesting question there, Ice Age. They're just asking, do lions ever catch and eat fish? And I certainly know of a leopard catching and eating fish. And I think if the right circumstances were there, there's nothing to say a lion wouldn't. But it's not part of their normal diet. And if there's enough prey out there, there's no real reason for them to go and eat fish. But obviously if there's a lack of fish, if there's a lack of prey, then they do need to start looking at other avenues. And they'll even turn their taste buds to termites, especially the winged termites that leave the termite mounds. They have been known to eat those. And obviously anything else that comes their way, like tortoises, if they can get their claws into it. So if there was a reason for it, if there was nothing else around, and there was, say, they saw the fish in the water and they were hungry enough, I'm pretty sure they would go for it. I say lions don't tend to like water, but I have seen lions. Obviously there's the YouTube clip of the Battle of Kruger, where the lions dive into the water after a buffalo. So again, I think it's all to do with individuals as well. If the individual is not too fazed about the water, then right place, right time, they possibly could. But I do remember hearing quite an interesting story of the leopard. Again, leopards aren't really supposed to eat fish. But the leopard was moved from one reserve to another. And the people that moved this leopard were obviously keeping quite a close watch on it. And they noticed it was starting to get quite thin. And they said to the people that they relocated it from, said, this leopard's got a problem, it's got a disease or something. They said, well, have you got fish in your dam? I said, well, don't think so, not sure. I said, well, stock your dam full of fish and it'll be fine. And they did that, and sure enough, this leopard started putting on weight. So this leopard, for some reason, had decided it wanted to eat fish, and it wasn't really too fussed about eating anything else. So it really does. I mean, cats are so adaptable. They can really try and eat whatever it is they can get their claws into. And as I say, there are things out there you think, oh, there's no way they'll eat it. I've also seen pictures of leopard killing and eating crocodile that was 3 meters in length. I mean, if you'd have asked me before I saw those pictures, could a leopard kill and eat a crocodile, I'd have said, no ways. Not a crocodile that length at least. Maybe a baby crocodile. But sure enough, there was something that pushed that leopard to want to kill a crocodile and eat a crocodile. The circumstances were right. Okay, do we have another question coming through? Thank you very much, Ice Age. Just coming back about different cats. I did actually forget to mention, and you're quite right, there is a cat that does fish. It is called the fishing cat, found in Asia. And I actually remember seeing one on the night safari in Singapore, and they fairly small. They're not as big as a lion or a leopard. Just trying to think. It's probably roughly around the same size as the caracal or serval out here. Smaller than the cougar over in the US. Maybe about the same size as the bobcat, give or take. Maybe a little bit smaller. But it's only one of the smaller cats, and it's got spots on it. It's grey, and it does, as you say, it does go swimming after fish, and it will go fishing. So I'd love to see those pictures. Thank you very much, Ice Age. I'll definitely be looking at those. Didn't quite catch the first part, but I think I said you were saying that you've got a picture of one of the Mapocos killing a crocodile. Was that right, Sapiwe? Awesome! I'd love to see that. As I say, it just really goes to show these cats can be so adaptable. Whatever it is that comes their way, if they are hungry enough, and they're so inquisitive. I mean, I've heard of leopards sort of trying to kill pangolin, obviously porcupine for lions, and even leopards will try porcupine. And once they figure out how to do it, then obviously they're going to be more capable of doing it next time, and they'll be more likely to try it again next time. I'll definitely be looking forward to those pictures, Ice Age. For sure, and definitely those fishing cat ones. Johnny Patel. Any station with a skunk avatar? What's the lock of the skunk on? Okay, copy, thank you. Just while... That's affirmative, thank you. We're with them at the moment. While we were sat here, I did hear a message come through about the cheetah. I've just been trying to have an update. I think we've just been out of range for some of the people or not, but it sounds like they've moved off into Buffles Hook. So it'll be quite interesting to see if they do come down towards this way again. And that male that we saw a couple of days ago certainly looked like he was on a mission. Maybe he was trying to get to that female with the cub, and he was certainly walking that way. You see, she's. Oh, you will not. Yeah, look, see, she's actually looking up again. I wonder if she is seeing something up there. And another question from Chad. Chad, I hope you were watching. We managed to get the impala done. So we'll see if we can have our little box crawl competition towards the end of the drive.
Not box crawl, book crawl.
Yeah, that's what I said. Box crawl.
Book crawl.
Box crawl. And you're just asking how many prides are there in Juma Game Reserve. I was asking Colleen about that one because she's done a lot of research on the lions and the leopards here, along with Karen. And when I did open the email, I only actually had a quick chance to glance over it, but I think it was roughly around 10 or 12 prides, obviously not including the male coalitions. But I'll definitely just have a quick check of that email again and just I'll try and get back to you on that one. It was roughly around 10 or 12 prides in the area. And I think there was about 4 that were highlighted that as a big possibility of us seeing. Obviously the stick seems to be the one that frequents this area. The young kahumas from the north do come down. I'm not too sure how far down, but towards Buffles Hook Dam, maybe a bit further from that. Obviously the Windmill Pride made an appearance a few days ago. They're from the south, from Mala Mala. And I think the Robson Pride also, I've not met them yet. I've only sort of found out about them from this email from Colleen. And sort of as I delve more into it, what I've tried to do is start off with the prides that I'm more likely to see and try and learn a bit more about them and obviously the background and everything. And then I'm sort of trying to branch out into the prides that I'm might be seeing, and then obviously the prides that are further afield that we might hear about as well. So I'm slowly getting there with my studies on these animals, and especially with the leopard as well. But it is taking some time, I must admit. So I'm coming from a reserve that's used to having just one pride of lions. So this is a whole new ball game for me, which is awesome because obviously you're getting the interactions and obviously the possibilities of one pride maybe merging with another pride. I've not heard of it, I've not seen it, but you never know, it might happen in front of our eyes. It's certainly interesting I'll see if I can maybe have a look at some pictures of Sandy Patch female and see if she has any distinguishing features, so that maybe one day if she does join a pride, or if she has joined a pride, we might be able to tell. Obviously being the numbers will increase of the prides that we know of, but as I say, it'll be quite interesting. Obviously, going back to the question from Marlene, I still think it's a very, very big impossibility of her joining the Nkahuma Pride, especially with the history there. It made more sense, as I say, I thought if it was the Styx Pride that killed the rest of her pride, it would have made sense if she would have tried to join up with the Nkahuma Pride, if she was going to try and join up with any of them, but yeah. But I'll try and speak to Johnny and just see why he thought that. Okay, and just with the last 25 minutes of drive, so I will be heading back towards maybe the open area and showing you guys, as I say, I have been promising and I have finally found some dung. So I'll show you what the box troll competition's all about. And I have a winning subject as well.
A willing winner.
Oh, a winner, I'm quite tempted, half tempted to see if we can maybe just have another look around Gallego shortcut, because if there's monkeys calling around there, I'm just wondering if one of the boys was around there. I say the lions aren't doing too much at the moment. I say this one female, she seems to be quite restless. Female, she's got up again now. Ah, there's a buffalo. There's a buffalo at the back.
There's a buffalo, yes.
That's why she's been so restless. Okay, the other female's up now. The other three are still completely KO'd. I'm just trying to see where this wind is coming from. I don't know if the buffalo knows that they're here.
It's coming from the wrong place. Buffalo's going to smell them soon. See the buffalo in the background there?
I think the wind
Actually
is
coming straight
swirling a little
almost
bit.
towards them.
Is he coming to? I can't see them from where I am.
It's going to come out just in this gap here.
Do you need me to move, or are we okay?
I think we're good here.
Okay. So at the moment, I'm just a little bit too low. I'm hidden behind the bushes. But the females are still looking to the left.
That's weird because the buffalo's almost straight in front of me at the moment.
Oh, I think I see him now. Yeah. But this wind, I think it's swirling a little bit. I don't know. He may have caught their scent. You need to keep still, little one. Okay, she's seen him now. She's just turned.
Looks like you're going to go back to sleep.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if they realise conditions are not right. So again, they won't waste energy on something that's not going to happen. So if they're not hungry enough, and if the conditions aren't quite right, they won't bother. If the conditions change and it does come right, they might do. Especially if they are hungry enough. As I say, I don't think they're that hungry. They seem to be quite satisfied. The bellies look quite nice and rounded, but not overly full. But if that buffalo comes too close, they may give it a go, if, as I say, the conditions are in their favour. But I'm getting the wind is actually, at this point, is going from the lions down towards the buffalo, but it's at an angle, so I don't know if he is getting the scent. Or maybe he did as he was walking through.
I can't see him anymore. I mean, these lions look like they've totally lost interest.
Yeah, they do, hey? But also buffalo have been known to kill lion. So it could be, especially if it's a breeding herd coming through, this could be one of the pathfinders. And they tend to go up ahead of the herd to find the grazing and that sort of thing. And if it is a breeding herd and that's what's happening, it could mean that those buffalo, if they catch wind of the lion, they may turn a bit aggressive and try and chase the lion away. And that could be why they're taking an interest as well. It's just to keep a check on whether it is a buffalo herd, whether it's going to turn against them. As I say, it certainly does look like this wind is just swapping and changing. I think I'm seeing him just at the back there. Maybe it might be worth us moving forward slightly. Yeah, it is him just at the back there. Maybe just move forward ever so slightly. These three are still completely lalapansying. Okay, Sophia, I will do. Just want to change our perspective a little bit. If it works.
Oh, the buffer's still right
yeah,
here,
he's
hey?
just right in amongst the bushes there. Let me see if I can just pull forward a little bit more. You can see just through the tree there.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, and just another reminder, if there's anybody who's joining us for the first time and wondering what on earth is going on, you're actually joining a live game drive from here in Juma Game Reserve. Something else has just caught my attention. And that's caught everybody's attention this time. And I say, it just goes to show this is very, very much live.
Things are happening, things are happening.
And we have the Styx female pride with us, with a buffalo just a few meters away, but there is definitely something happening
Buffer's
behind
moving
us.
at the
Yeah, the
moment.
buffaloes are. The three that were completely flat out and KO'd.
There's another
sleeping.
buffalo.
Oh, there's another buffalo behind us, that's why. And now up and ready for action.
This buffalo is not going to smell them.
I wonder. It's getting very tense here now. I can see the other buffalo is coming in from the left here. So this is what the beauty of it being live is. You don't know what's going to happen. You really don't know what's going to happen. We've got the buffalo coming in from the left, and we have the other ones walked off to the right now behind them. The question is, are they hungry enough? Are the conditions right enough? Any stations interested, I've got two in Yati fambering through where the Mafazi and Gala are on Impala.
It's crossing the road now. It just...
If any stations are interested, I've got two in Yari with the Mafazi and Gala. It looks like they're going to try and Landella. And just to remind everybody, my name's Tara, I'm your guide this morning, and Herman is on camera with me, and Sapiwe is now in final control. And it just goes to show it is worth sitting, even with flat cats sometimes, because conditions change so much. If something comes through, walks through, wakes them up, sometimes it is worth just sitting there and just trying to watch. Oh, speak of the devil, we've got Johnny joining us.
Yeah, well.
Just at the back there. We've got two in Yari at the back there. And there's one female that just really couldn't care less. Just showing that she's really not fussed about it at all. I know some people don't like the thought of having a hunt. There we go, the buffalo's coming back into view now. But remember, these cats have to survive. It is part of nature. Nature is sometimes a very cruel place, but remember it's also a very amazing place. And everything gets balanced out in the end. To pull back a little bit.
No, it's fine. It's just moving. It's about
I've lost
100.
I've lost the view of the buffalo as well.
It's about 100 meters in.
Are you going to go for a little one? Quite interesting. There is, again, it just depends on the individual. There are some individuals that are a lot stronger in personality and they're more willing to take the hunt with the first steps. Okay, it's just moving. I've got a visual of him again.
Okay. Oh, it's coming out here now.
So there's just some funny noises coming over the radio. Okay, well, there is still one female who's really not fazed about what's going on at all, but then you've got at least 4 of the females looking very interested now, and especially that young one. They're just keeping themselves very, very low to the ground. And one's just laying back down again. Yeah. We say Lalapanjing steam just means sleeping fast. And just remember, if you have any questions, feel free to email them to finalcontrol@safari.tv. So this really is now biting. Are they going to go for it or are they not? The wind's changed yet again. It looks like it's now going from the right hand side of the lines to the left hand side as we're looking at them. I think they've realised the conditions aren't right now. But then every time I think that, they keep looking up again. Maybe just to keep a check on where the buffalo is.
Seattle, Saint Paul, Universal
Okay guys, just while there's nothing happening, we just need Sipiwe just to cut to Gary Dam for us, just so we can adjust something on the camera quickly. We shouldn't be too long, but just while the cats are resting for a short while. So Sipiwe, if you can just let us know when you've cut to Gary for us. Okay, well nothing much has happened in that short break, so you didn't miss anything. Can you still see the buffalo? I can't. I think they've moved on. Oh, there's one at the back there, I can still see him. Just saw a tail flicking. Just behind, I think it's actually behind the tree for you guys.
Okay.
Where, let's see. You've got the female in the front,
Yeah.
the female to the left, and then the female at the back.
Yeah.
And it's just actually behind the tree that's to the right of that female at the back.
Oh, okay.
And there's another vehicle joining us.
Kom igjen. Ja. Tror det.
I think they're too well fed. It's just that one female, she just keeps looking at her. There's the vultures. Wow, they're coming in. They're a little bit early though. I'll have to keep a watch on the off. There's more coming in. Let's see if they come into land. That's quite interesting if they do. Have they seen something that we've driven past? Or maybe they're just scouting out the area. Yeah, they're moving on. Maybe they just saw the lines and thought they would have a quick look. females are. We've got movement again. Yeah, but her stomach definitely looks full. Okay, we've got a question coming through. Okay, Chad, just wanting to know what pride this is, and this is the Styx pride, made up of the one young male. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see him, he's just hidden behind a bush for you guys at the moment. I can just about see him. And we've also got 3 young females, all roughly around 2 years old, give or take a couple of months between them. And then you have 4 adult females in the pride who are generally together, and then there's one female who's separated off, and it sounds like she's pregnant, and she seems to be staying down on Mala Mala a lot more by herself, but it was thought that she wasn't part of the pride and that she'd been lost to the pride, whether she'd been killed or something. So I don't know how true it is, if it is the right female that we're talking about. But as I say, I did hear from one of the other guys that she was pregnant. I just hope it is the same female. I hope it is the right female. She's such a beautiful female, this little one. She really is. Copy that, Caroline. I'm not sure if these cats are going to do anything, so I think maybe if we give it another 15 minutes or so afterwards, I think it might just carry on like this throughout the day.
My battery's almost full.
Or is it? Have you got any... Yeah, that's what I was saying, if we can probably do that, but Tim was just saying he's using battery power, so if we can maybe stay as long as the battery holds out maybe. Alright everybody, what we're going to do... Oh. Okay. Well, what we're going to be doing is, we're going to obviously end the drive as normal. Obviously we're getting into the habit of doing that when we do go on TV. We will have to end for the TV audience, but we will also try and stay with these animals a little bit after we close, so don't go anywhere. We are going to be coming back to you. As I say, I'm not sure what is going to be happening with these guys. I think we're probably just, it could go on like this all day while the buffalo are here. But I think with them not being too hungry, I don't know, I'm not sure if they are going to try it or not. I think it's more just keeping a watch out for any danger rather than anything, but we are going to try and stay with them as long as the battery holds out. So I think if we end here, and then you guys can cut back to us, and then if there's any other questions coming through, we can answer them after we've finished. So as I say, don't go anywhere. This is sort of just getting used to ending the program, and then we'll be cutting back to us and just seeing if these lions are going to decide to do anything or not.
Still same luck, some lullabies, some looking up at some yellies, there'll be others afternoon.
Okay, so I'll just say a quick bye to everybody from myself, Tara, Herman on camera, and Sipiwe and Kaz in final control. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed the drive this morning. I've really enjoyed it. And thank you very much to all the questions and all the information you guys sent through. And we'll be back soon. Okay, welcome back everybody. I think there was a question coming through just as we were ending. Sorry, who was that question from? Amy, I think that was. Amy, you're just asking, can one lion pull down a buffalo by itself? Probably not. She will need the rest of the pride, whether it be 2 or 3 other members. She would certainly need to have some form of support with bringing down a buffalo. If it was a baby buffalo, then yes, she probably would be able to bring it down, but a fully grown buffalo, she would need help with that one. And that's why lions can go for larger prey, because they do live as a pride. So whereas something like a leopard maybe could pull down a kudu weighing in around 300 kilos, that's probably the maximum a leopard can pull down. But you're looking at the lions who could pull down buffalo weighing in around 800 kilos to a ton. They can pull down giraffe, also 1.2 tons. Even up in Chobe in Botswana, they can pull down elephants weighing in roughly 4 to 6 tons. So the more pride members you have, the larger meals you can go for, but obviously you need to have the larger meals to support the amount of pride members. So it kind of goes hand in hand. The wind's dropping and changing again, and it's now blowing directly from the lions down towards the buffalo again. So if the buffalo didn't know they're here, they probably will now. And I can actually see a buffalo poking his head out. So we'll just see if I can move forward a little bit, so we might be able to actually see it. You see just past the tree there. It's just in the thick bush, just past the tree on the right.
I see nothing.
I don't think we're going to be seeing much more out of these cats, to be honest. Looks like they've all pretty much bedded down for the day. Vultures have moved off, so I think they were just flying in, just having a quick look. Maybe they did actually see the lions and they were just having a quick look to see if there was a carcass around. But not yet. They're probably going to still be around here. What they probably will do as it heats up, will probably start moving into the shade, and they'll be finding somewhere just to cool down. Remember, we were talking about the behavior of when it's cold, they move to where it's warmer into the thick bush. But obviously they need to do the opposite. If it gets too hot, they need to find the shade. So just behavioral changes can help them regulate the temperature. It's quite funny, these little bushes you can see, I've seen lions right inside those. So even the smallest bush can be some form of shade to a lion or any kind of animal. I've even seen elephant underneath very, very small shrubs. I've seen a whole herd underneath the shade of one tree. It's quite incredible. Okay. Sure. ISA's just sent through some information about 2 female lions pulling down an elephant by themselves. I think it was said that it was 2 minutes. That is incredible. Absolutely incredible. So it really does go to show nature really... It's just amazing. It really is amazing. There's no words for it. And you hear of these, I mean, obviously these will be very unusual stories, but even so, it just goes to show it's just so adaptable. It really is incredible. I think that was from the Savuti Pride.
In Botswana.
Yeah, in Botswana. So already the lions in Botswana is probably the same pride that knows how to pull down elephants. And if they're so used to pulling down elephants, then they're going to be very used to the way to do it quickly and to even so, to pull down an elephant. That is incredible. Because the last time I heard there was a pride, it was about 30 strong, and that's how they were able to pull down the elephant.
They're already moving into the shade.
Yeah, they're starting to move to the shade now. I think we're probably going to leave them. They probably will be here later on, maybe just in the thicker bush in the shade, unless the buffalo do come through and push them away. But I think the scent got taken down to them, if not slightly earlier, just now, because the wind was picking up, and I definitely saw that buffalo kind of look and then move away. So I don't think we're going to get much more out of them. But thank you so much to everybody for joining us, and thank you very much to Ice Age. I'm really looking forward to seeing those pictures for sure. And yeah, it's been quite a nail-biting one today. It really is incredible. But as I say, that's what the beauty of it is, being live, is just you really can't predict what's going to happen. You just have to just sit and watch and try and predict and try and put yourself in the right place without interfering and just observe. But wow, it really has been quite a morning. I've really enjoyed it and I hope you guys have too. And as I say, I'm looking forward to all those pictures. And I'll definitely be putting up more pictures. As I say, if I don't get a chance today, I definitely will try in the next couple of days, and I'll see the information about the tree as well. But I'll say goodbye to myself and from the team, and hopefully you can join us again this afternoon at 3 o'clock Central African time for our next game drive. Take care, guys.